You get an email from your bank. The sender looks right. The logo looks right. There's a link to verify your account. Urgent, they say. You click it. You enter your credentials on a page that looks exactly like the real thing. Within 4 minutes, an attacker in another country has your username, your password, and the session cookie from your browser. Your account is already being drained. Phishing is not a dumb attack. It is the first step in the most successful attack chain in cybersecurity. And it works on intelligent people every day. Here's exactly how. Phishing is responsible for 91% of all successful cyber attacks, according to data compiled by Deloitte. Not because it's the most technically sophisticated attack. It isn't. It's successful because it targets the human element. Every system ever built ultimately depends on a human being somewhere in the chain. Phishing finds that human. The email, the text, the phone call. They're all the same principle. Deceive a person into taking an action that they believe is legitimate but isn't. The action might be clicking a link, opening an attachment, entering credentials, or wiring money. The mechanism varies. The principle doesn't. Before a single email is sent, the attacker does reconnaissance. Open source intelligence gathering on the target organization. LinkedIn reveals employees, their roles, their reporting structure, their technical stack. Company websites reveal vendors, partners, job postings that indicate which software is in use. Email format, first name, last name, or first initial last name, is confirmed by checking publicly available addresses. The attacker builds a target list ranked by access level. The best targets are people with broad system access, IT administrators, finance executives, executive assistants who send payments on behalf of leadership. The attacker knows exactly who they're writing to before they write. Infrastructure setup precedes delivery. A sophisticated phishing campaign uses domains that look like the target organization's real domain, a typo, a hyphen, an extra letter. The domain is registered days or weeks before the campaign to age it past basic domain reputation checks. SSL certificates are obtained. The padlock in the browser doesn't mean a site is legitimate, only that the connection is encrypted. The phishing page is cloned from the real organization's login portal. Pixel perfect. Then, a commercial phishing kit is deployed, software that captures submitted credentials in real time and forwards them to the attacker before the victim even notices anything is wrong. Modern phishing bypasses multi-factor authentication. This is called an adversary in the middle attack, ATM. The phishing page acts as a proxy between the victim and the legitimate site. The victim enters their credentials. The phishing proxy forwards them to the real site in real time. The real site sends an MFA prompt. The victim completes MFA. The real site sends back a session cookie. The proxy captures that cookie. The attacker now has a valid, authenticated session. MFA has been fully satisfied. The victim is redirected to the real site and sees nothing wrong. The attacker uses the stolen session cookie to access the account directly, with no further authentication required. Spear phishing is targeted. Whaling is spear phishing aimed at executives. Business email compromise is what happens when a compromised executive email account is used to impersonate that executive to employees. BEC doesn't require malware. It's a social engineering attack built entirely on trust. An employee receives an email from what appears to be the CEO's account, asking them to authorize a wire transfer urgently and confidentially. The FBI reports that BEC scams have caused over $50 billion in losses globally since 2013. The wire transfers are typically irreversible. Most victims don't discover the fraud until the money is gone. Recognizing phishing requires slowing down the psychological pressure the email creates. Urgency is the primary lever. Your account will be suspended. The window closes in 2 hours. Your delivery is being held. The urgency is manufactured specifically to prevent you from thinking critically. Legitimate institutions do not demand immediate action on sensitive matters via email. Before clicking any link in an email, hover over it. The actual URL destination is displayed in the browser status bar. If the domain doesn't match the institution, it's a phishing attempt. Navigate to the site directly rather than clicking the link. That single habit eliminates the vast majority of phishing risk. For organizations, technical controls add a layer that individual skepticism alone can't provide. DMARC, DKIM, and SPF are email authentication protocols that prevent attackers from spoofing your domain, sending emails that appear to come from your company. Email filtering solutions analyze incoming messages for phishing indicators before they reach the inbox. Security awareness training with simulated phishing campaigns creates measurable baseline data about which employees are susceptible and where training efforts should concentrate. None of these controls are expensive relative to the cost of a successful phishing compromise. Phishing-resistant MFA is the technical countermeasure against ATM attacks. FIDO2 hardware security keys, physical devices like YubiKey, are bound to the specific domain of the legitimate site. When a phishing proxy presents a different domain, the key refuses to authenticate. Passkeys, which are FIDO2 credentials stored on device, provide the same protection for consumer applications. Both eliminate the session cookie theft that makes ATM attacks possible. The authentication is cryptographically tied to the real origin. A fake site cannot complete it. The migration from SMS and app-based MFA to FIDO2 is the single most impactful MFA upgrade an organization can make. Phishing works because it attacks the one thing no firewall can patch: human judgment under pressure. The email creates urgency. Urgency creates action. Action bypasses skepticism. That sequence has stayed remarkably consistent for 30 years, while everything around it has changed. The credentials change. The platforms change. The techniques for bypassing MFA improve. But the fundamental attack is the same: deceive a person into trusting something they shouldn't. Understanding the full chain, from reconnaissance to credential theft to account takeover, is what makes the training materials that stop it actually effective. If you want to go deeper into how attackers manipulate human psychology, not just technology, our video on social engineering covers the full art of hacking humans. Phishing is the technical front end of a deeper craft, manipulating human judgment under pressure. If this stayed with you, social engineering, the art of hacking humans, not systems, goes further into the psychology behind every successful attack. It is on this channel.